I'm actually writing a poetry book, so I'm gonna be doing one of the poems from my book there that night. So yes, snaps for that.
Yeah, yeah. Might have to
Um,
pop up on you, check you
yeah,
out, most
you gotta
definitely.
come
Yes,
through.
yes,
Come
ma'am.
see, come
Uh-huh.
see. Uh, so that'll be fun. I think my friend Nadia, she has a band, so I think she'll be performing, doing her song, and it's like real like live music, like good music, you know. So it's not just like,
Hmm.
you know.
Nice, nice.
But a lot of like people, like artists, poets, they just come and just kind of it's a real chill event, you know. And then Saturday we have like a singles kind of like mixer, you know.
Hmm.
It's called Table for Two-ish, and so the premise is basically like it's a relaxed environment, but everybody there is basically single, just kind of like looking to connect with other people. It's not even like on a love, like
But
it can
but
be
it's not
super
speed dating.
platonic. No, it's not speed dating. No, it's not speed dating. I feel like that would be fun though, but people are like, no, don't do that, don't do that. I've
I
never done
tried that
speed dating.
once, long time ago,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it was cool. I mean, I wasn't there because I was trying to meet somebody. I was doing a friend a
Yeah.
favor, and it was like,
Right,
hey,
right,
could you
right.
come through? And but I enjoyed myself. And
Yeah.
and
That's what's
despite me
awesome.
not normally, I don't think I would ever just go sign up for something like that. But
Right.
Yeah.
after I did, I enjoyed it. It was cool.
Yeah.
But I like what you're doing because it's not the pressures of
Right.
dating. Sometimes that dating word, gets in the way of just having just casual, warm conversation, and being yourself, being authentic, and just getting to know people, socializing.
Mm.
So I like what you're doing. Let's give it a try.
Yeah. So we'll see. The last event was really good. Like we had a great time. We had a live DJ there. We had like champagne and just everybody
Hmm.
was just chill. Like we had actually a art installation that I think we're gonna do again. So it was like a certain
Mm.
rooms, like how the office is kind of laid out. It's we like turned it into a speakeasy. And so we had one art installation, an artist come in and he explained his art and like it was just a whole vibe. So art, poetry, all the love, whatever, friendship, whatever you want to call it. So it was definitely a good time.
Nice.
So where is that located at?
2411 Emancipation.
Oh,
So
she
it's like
around
in
the
the heart
Yeah,
of
I
corner.
feel like
34th.
everything's kind of popping up over there off Emancipation.
Right.
Yeah, hey, it's coming up. It's on the come up for sure.
Yeah, that's right around the corner
So,
from me. I was hoping you weren't gonna say the north side.
no, not the north side. We're in the heart of the city. We're in the
No,
heart of the
Now,
that's
city.
now
So
you know the old location was an Humble, right?
yeah. And
Yeah,
so it's far for a lot of
yeah.
people. And so I just think
right.
it all worked out for the better where I'm at now. So yeah.
Nice, nice.
It's dope. It's dope. We want
And
to check.
well, Damien, I know we got the Kingsman project coming up this weekend.
Yes, sir.
For
Yes,
the
sir.
people who hadn't heard anything about it, what is what is that? What do we got going on this weekend, man?
Yeah, so first off, it's the Royal Kings, we're brotherhood. We're the big brothers, the superheroes in the community, not just mentoring the youth, the young men, but also working with the young ladies, collaborating with extraordinary women in the community, such as yourself, Chrissy. You got some wonderful things going on, but a lot of things that we notice is that there's not enough men that are standing behind women like yourself, right? Collaborating, uplifting y'all, or just promoting, right?
Mhm.
Terrence has set up a platform to bring you on to promote your business, which is what we need more of. I always say it's collaboration over competition.
No
And that's
strings attached
right. No
support.
strings.
That
They
support where you just like, hey, just come through and no, you ain't got to pay me, and no, I don't want anything in return, and I just want to see you shine. That
right.
that that
Exactly.
support.
Genuine love and support.
Yeah.
Right, right.
And I say that's important for brothers like us to show because that's what the norm is now, right? Especially when you collaborate with a woman, it's like, okay, what do you want, right? And it's like, no, I just want to show up. I want you to shine. I want you to shine, and let's promote each other. So, but the Kingsman Project, this weekend is basically Black excellence. Black man excellence. So there'll be a lot of brothers coming together in suits. We walking with the positive swag, with the inspirational image, and the young men coming together, fathers,
Right,
sons,
right,
nephews, because Houston has this history, right? People know us as Screwston, right? Screwed up, chopped up, the city of the purple, but there's a lot more to that than Houston. There's a lot of us that are out here getting it, doing well, excelling in the political world, in the entertainment industry, in a lot of different industries, but it hasn't been promoted enough. So we want to get all the brothers together, and we want to capture those powerful images of Black men standing together,
right,
collaborating, networking, socializing, smiling. You know what I'm saying? Like a Black man
right. Bringing those
smiling
good vibes in there. Right, right.
is nothing but good vibes, and we want to uplift each other. And it's called the Kingsman Project. And somebody reached out to me. I reached out to my guys. Me, Terrence, and the Royal Kings. We're ready to get out there at Booker T. Washington and network and lift up some brothers and come out better fathers, better husbands. If you're single, just come out as a better man of God. Whatever walk that you're doing, we want to dress it up on the outside and the inside. I know Chrissy and all the sisters can appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And for myself, being able to have a group of gentlemen together that there's no animosity. We
Mhm.
I'm not worried about what you got on or the colors you
Mhm.
might wear or where your background is or what side of the neighborhood or what side of town you're
Mhm.
from. But to go there to a place where we are all there with a sense of pride and a willingness and a desire to
Right.
communicate and work with each other. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
And just that ability to say, hey, I'm open-minded to have a conversation with this guy who
Mhm.
I've never met. I might have seen him in the street somewhere, but I've never had a conversation with him. Or, this young man, he's not here with anybody, right? And
Right.
maybe he's just looking for some guidance. And you'd be surprised the kind of conversations you
Mhm.
have with people you've never met when given the opportunity. So I'm
Exactly.
definitely looking forward to this weekend. I know I invited some young men, my guy Chase, um, very, very positive um, young man. So
Yeah.
definitely, if you have an opportunity and you're in the Houston area, you want to come out to Booker T. Washington this weekend. You got a son, a son, a nephew, a
Mhm.
brother, a husband, um, a
Mhm.
male that's in your life that needs to be around some other positive role models and some men doing positive things in their community, looking out for each other. Come by this weekend. Booker
There
T.
you go.
Washington, the Kingsmen Project, Royal Kings. Hopefully, I'll see you there. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And Chrissy,
this is
make
one of
sure.
many things that we'll have
Yeah.
coming up. Um, and
just
then
just just one of many. There's a lot. And Chrissy, I would say on times like this, when we're going to these type of events, we'll love to promote your business, right? And
Okay.
your space, so people on Friday night can come hear some
so
poetry. That's what we're talking about.
Okay. Yeah.
so
Mhm.
Chrissy, I was gonna ask you, and I know we hadn't had a deep conversation about it, but last time I
Mhm.
seen you was in New Orleans around
Okay.
Super Bowl time, and you were interviewing everybody, like everybody who I would want to sign my jersey, and there was only a couple of them, but like you was
Mhm.
interviewing everybody. What was that about? What were you doing out there?
So I do a lot of work with the NFL, and so that's the Super Bowl. It's one I will never miss. And so I got to do media day, all the interviews with both teams, both coaches, all that. It was a great, like, phenomenal week for
Mhm.
me, I will say. And I would be doing that, but the NFL is not right now. It doesn't start back up till August, so that's why I'm like doing other events until then. But that's what I like to do. You know what I mean? That's the fun stuff to me because it doesn't feel like work. Like you're working, yeah, like you'll be tired because you work long hours. It's not necessarily easy, but because there's like a fun aspect to it, it's sports, like everybody loves it, you know, they're like, oh my gosh, like I'll go live and all the kids are like, ask my favorite player this question, and I'll ask their question, they're like, oh my gosh, Jalen Hurts just answered my question. It's just the cutest ever. So I
That's nice.
really enjoy like doing that kind of work, you know. So
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice.
I could see it in your face.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
she
brings me
lit
joy.
up. She didn't do that for the Kiesman project. Was you talking about the NFL? She
Yeah,
lit up.
But you know
yeah,
what?
it's
I
fun.
think when we're passionate about the things that we're doing,
Yeah,
whether it's communicating or working with kids or whatever your passion is,
yeah.
you
Mhm.
can really just spend time in it, and it doesn't seem like work, even though you're putting in mad hours. And
Right.
typically you'd be like, man, I'm sleeping, I just want to rest, but you'll find the energy to get up
Keep going.
and work in your passion. And
Yep,
I love
yep.
that. That's dope. I
That's it.
definitely, that's one of the first things I ask people when we're having conversations and I meet them, and I feel like people always say, what do you do? I always say,
Mhm.
well, what do you do? But do you enjoy what you do? That's what I really want to know. What are you doing, and do you like what you
Do
do?
you enjoy it? Does it bring
And
you joy? You know?
Right,
yeah,
Yeah.
like
right,
because
right.
I feel like those people where you do have conversations with them, they be like, man, I can't stand my job. They be the
Yeah.
most miserable people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been there, man. Let me
you
tell
know.
you,
yeah.
it's not an enjoyable life when you're spending 40 hours a week at something you don't want to do, you know? It makes a world of difference when you find something you're passionate
Or with
about, you know?
people you don't want to be around. And that's just as bad. You might be in your
That part.
passion, and you might be in, the field that you want to be in, but you working with
Mhm.
the wrong people.
Yeah.
Right, right,
So
man. We got to talk about that. We got some
man,
topics we want to touch on. I think it's a nice little segue going into it.
Mhm.
man. So really, and I do kind of want to touch down on working with the right people, because I
Yeah,
feel like more so it's funny how timing and God works.
yeah.
And when you with the wrong people, things
Mhm.
just don't work exactly the way that they should, and timing be a little bit off, and
Yes,
you
sir.
be like,
Yes,
no, I
sir.
just missed it, or man,
It's not
it's not there.
yeah.
And you know, moving around and separating yourself from even the room you want to be in, but that the people in that room just ain't
Mhm.
looking out. That ain't your room, right? That ain't your building.
Ain't
And
you?
you'll be surprised that, man, as soon as I left that room,
Mhm.
because God kept telling me that's not the room for me, man. I'm not gonna bless you, Terrence. As long as you in that room, Terrence, I can't bless you the way I want to bless you,
Yeah.
because those other people, they can't be attached to your blessings,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And man, as
It's-
soon as I left that room, God just abundantly, quickly,
yeah.
without hesitation, opens up doors and
Expeditiously.
blessings. And
Yeah.
it's not even a matter of like, was that God? Or you'd be like, thank you, God.
Yeah.
I should have listened to you a little bit earlier. But
Right. Right.
sometimes you got to experience and go through them trials so that you can get those lessons and get that extra, you know, you ain't gonna get me again, though.
And sometimes he'll let you, he'll move his hand and let you keep doing what you're doing. So when you do walk into that blessing, it's him.
Right.
So there's always a reason. And I tell people all the time, until you listen to God, regardless of where you want to be, things are not gonna align. You can keep trying to make them work, and that's professionally, that's romantically. A lot of times we trying to God brought this
Force it
person back for a season, right? For a season and for a reason, and you
for a
trying to put them
lesson,
in the category,
but that
right?
ain't your blessing.
Mhm.
Come on, man.
Come
Okay,
on.
hold on, Chris.
God was just trying to teach you a lesson. You thought it was your blessing. Shit.
Got with your blessing, Yeah, but
No,
nah,
it was just so that you could learn. So when your blessing did come, you can identify it and you be like, that's it. I
Exactly.
see it.
yeah,
Mhm.
But
man, the
yeah.
people that you're around and make such a big difference. You never know who's blocking your blessings, and then who's opening the doors for you sometime. The devil is always at work, but God works overtime. You know that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's a blessing.
And I
Every
can talk
morning,
about
every
it all day.
morning.
'Cause I know for me, when I say God has been snatching me up out of places so quick, like
Yeah.
literally, and I'm appreciative of it because I'm the type of person like whoever's sitting at my table, if I'm eating, you're eating too. You know what I mean? Like my overflow is yours as well. You know what I mean? I bless everybody that's around me, that's with me. So I
Hmm.
always pray, like, make sure, like, God, I need to know that these people are solid and loyal. And so I think he knows my heart and he knows, like, hey, when I bless you, this person right here, they can't come with you. So
Right.
literally, like, I'll be walking into a room and this person is talking about me as I
Mm.
walk into the room, like where it's like I can't even deny, like this person is kind of, you know,
They just
Right.
keep revealing themselves.
it's like it's almost like immediately I'll be like, God, I don't know about this person, I don't know, and then I'll hang up the phone. I'm telling them I don't know, it doesn't feel right. I walk into the room, they talking about me. Oh, okay. I
Yep.
see like that type of revelation that I've been getting in this season. And so, like I said, even just like where the space that I'm at now, like I'm appreciative. Like even it can be painful too, though. Like like spending time on people or investing in people that like you say, they'll support you, but there'll be strings attached. You know what I mean? And that's why I really appreciate what y'all say of like just showing love, showing support in a way that it's just like, hey, I just want to see you succeed. There's nothing attached to this support and love. It's just I genuine care for you. So like stuff like that I appreciate and I want to always highlight because there's a lot of people that are not like that. They're like, what are you gonna do for me? And me
Yeah.
first. You know what I mean? And
Well,
so
everybody has expectations. Um, but my expectations, I want to have of myself. I don't want to have necessarily expectations of other people outside of respecting my energy and my boundaries.
mhm.
Outside of respecting my energy and my boundaries, um,
Hmm.
I believe people are going to be whoever they are. And more and more, I have
Hmm.
practiced and as I'm gotten better at it as time has gone, um, at being unbothered about how other people are
Hmm.
um, in different situations because I always say nobody's gonna respond like you. Ain't nobody gonna think like you. They ain't gonna feel
Right.
the way that you feel
Yeah.
Right.
um, on any of those levels. And there might be things where you relate with people, but at the end of the day, nobody thinks like you do, and you can't expect them to.
Yeah. A lot of
So
times we let ourselves down because we have those expectations for others to react and to handle things the way that we do. But
right,
it's like you said, you know, you let people be who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And you can normally see those red flags, from the beginning, and you just have to pay attention to them. A lot of times people tell you who they are and you have to listen to it.
you gotta believe them.
You got to believe them. You got to believe them.
First
Yeah.
I know he told me he was a thief, but
but
I
I
mean
didn't.
that was a long time. That was a long time ago. They don't do
Right.
that anymore.
I think he was
But
doing
nah, he told you he was a thief. You should have believed him.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And that's the thing. A lot of people are telling you things like that, right? But some of us, we think we're so special. Nah, they wouldn't do that to me, right? For me, if you my boy or you're friend of mine, and you're telling me, hey man, watch out for that person. Okay, off of the strength of me having trust for you, I'm gonna watch out for that person. I'm not gonna be disrespectful or anything like that or tell them nothing to their face. But if you got trust and loyalty with the people in your circle, and they tell you that a snake bite and it bit them, it shouldn't have to bite you too before you believe it.
Hmm.
So it goes back to, you know, being careful with who you have in your corner, who you have around. I don't want nobody around me that I can't trust. Because sometimes we wonder why our blessings not coming in and somebody is secretly blocking them,
Right.
you know,
yeah.
trying to get them, for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's enough for everybody to go around. You
especially
know,
in
so
Houston.
yeah,
Houston has so much everything and opportunity and doors and money and um, but everybody's
mhm,
in competition.
everybody's in
Is
competition. Yeah.
whether it's the film industry and
Mhm,
Valentine, I know you know,
mhm,
and as big as Houston is,
yeah,
it's really only just a handful of production companies out there really doing stuff.
Mm.
that's it.
And I very rarely do I see these people. I do see certain people on different sets, but as far as like these big production companies coming together and doing like we could do, I don't hardly
Right.
see it. But the other part of that is, and it's unfortunate, but a
Hmm.
lot of times when, in my experience dealing with my black and my brown people,
Hmm.
and I is uh it'd be something in the back of my neck, and it don't be right. I don't know
Right.
what it is. It just don't be right sometimes. And my
Yeah.
brothers and my sisters, and I be trying to give my people the benefit of the doubt. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wish we would work together. I wish we would stop trying to get an extra $5 for my brother and my sister and just treat each other right with some good service, and let your actions and your service and your quality speak for itself. And you ain't got to gouge people. You don't have to treat people
Right.
differently in order
Right.
to come.
And you got to step on nobody to elevate yourself. You know, one thing that I've learned throughout these many years of being in all these industries, Chrissy and Terrence, is that instead of getting upset or getting frustrated or irritated by that perspective that we're talking about, right? It's like a, crab in a bucket, kind of the mentality. Instead of getting upset by that, you know what? I've had to pull people to the side and say, okay, bro, let me talk to you. I'm not trying to do what you do. I'm not trying to say you trying to do what I do. Let me promote you and sister, look, I'm trying to collaborate with you. Ain't no strings attached, and I don't want nothing from you. Tell me how I can help. Me and my brothers can help. And let me tell you, some of the people that did have that mentality that we're talking about, after coming to them that way, they walked away and said, you know what, bro, that's my bad. You right. You right. Man, I've had some crazy conversations with people that I'm close to, you know, like, oh man, people, you stole that from me or whatever. I'm like, man, what are you talking about? Like, it's
And
all
people be scared to have conversations. Period. Most
communication.
people don't want to have a real conversation. They want chit chat. But if it get
What
down to like some shit where you might have to own something, or you might have to like
take
self-reflect,
accountability.
most people
Yeah.
don't
Yeah,
want to have that conversation.
Responsibility.
Most people are
accountability.
used to that. And if you confront somebody who typically don't like conversations, they usually respond bad. They think something's wrong with you, but eh,
I think
again, I don't be upset that people don't communicate the way that I do. I just have
right.
to take that information and move accordingly. I can't force you to conversate, and I don't want to argue with nobody. So if you don't know how to talk and you don't know how to communicate in a way where we can resolve something, I'm cool not talking about it.
Right, right. Yeah. Communication is one of the biggest, the
I I
biggest,
I can't. You can't make nobody talk.
yeah. I say professionally and romantically. And we got a queen on here, so she can give her perspective.
Mhm.
But I know communication is like the key to everything. And I keep telling people it's not about the mistakes that we all make mistakes, but it's about how you handle them. We could all three of us can say the same thing, but our delivery is going to make a difference. You
Yep.
know, the delivery is everything, right? So I know, Chrissy, for yourself, professionally or romantically, um, communication is probably big to you, right? You know,
100.
You know,
Well, let,
so
let me ask this. Like when it comes to communication,
mhm,
and say y'all dealing with somebody,
right.
and you start to get that feeling that it ain't right. What are some of like the red flags that'll make you break off? Chrissy, what do you got? Give me something that like when you did like
She's
it don't have to be
How much
relationship. It
time
could
do
be
we have? No, I'm kidding.
business. Like give me some red flags.
Red flags. So I could get deep into this.
Yeah.
So let me start by saying, if there is a love language of communication, that is mine. Talk to me. I want to know everything. And I just talked about this on my podcast, the What's Chrissy Doing podcast. I'm just gonna plug myself real quick, real quick.
As you should.
hey,
Um, What's Chrissy Doing podcast, and we were talking
One more
about like
time, I didn't hear you.
vulnerability. Huh?
What you say? Where is it?
It's on YouTube. What's Chrissy Doing? The
No, I didn't hear
podcast.
you. Say it one more time. What's it called?
one more
I'm
time.
messing with you. I'm messing with you. You're supposed to repeat it.
Okay.
No,
He
you're
bringing
supposed
you
to
back
repeat it.
like a DJ, and
You
you
got to be quicker than
supposed to
that,
catch
Chris.
Wait,
on.
what is he saying? Hold on.
Listen,
I was
every
trying to
time
say
he
one more
asks you,
time,
you're
but
supposed to
You
put a
know, he's
little bit
messing
more
with
sauce
me.
on it. Yeah, you're supposed to keep putting more sauce on it every time he asks you.
Give him
There
in
you
a
go.
first
next time.
time.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, so no, I was saying this on my podcast. Basically, I'm not trying to single the men out at all. Please don't take it this way. But I think communication, there has to be a level of vulnerability. And I don't think men are conditioned or socialized to be vulnerable. And so my thing is, if we're communicating on something and you're like hiding something from me or not wanting to communicate how you're actually feeling, then I don't think we're going to get to the root of the issue. We're never going to solve anything because you're not being honest or vulnerable about the situation. And so
Right.
I always try to empower men to if you don't have to be vulnerable with everybody, because I know it's hard. Vulnerability is hard for sure. Like even for me,
Everybody ain't gonna treat that the right way. You know,
right.
some
And
people waiting
so
to stomp on your vulnerability.
They ready.
exactly. You got to be careful because yeah,
Yes.
some people will use that against you, unfortunately. But yeah, I always try to tell men like, okay, be vulnerable with your girl. If you ain't gonna be vulnerable with nobody else, you can be vulnerable with your girl. And if you feel like you can't be vulnerable with her, then you really need to question why you're in a relationship. If you feel like you can't be vulnerable with your partner, you know what I'm
Or
saying?
why are you with that person?
Why are you with that
So
person? You can't be vulnerable.
everybody ain't with their significant other for conversation. I get
Right.
it. You know what I'm
Exactly,
saying?
exactly.
And if that's the case, just know that that's not the person you're supposed to have those kind of conversations with. Know who you're dealing with. At the same
Mhm.
time, if that person ain't the most sensitive
Right.
and that's your situation, don't
Yeah.
expect that person to all of a sudden be sensitive because now you have a situation that you want to express to them. You have to
Right.
let people be whoever they are and just deal with it accordingly. At least
Exactly.
that's me.
So
Right.
let
I
me
feel like, be like, well,
let me ask.
we doing this and that together, and you
Uh,
should feel like this because I'm upset. Like, well, I'm sorry you upset. I don't feel like that though. So
you got to be able to communicate. So, Chrissy, let me ask a question
Yeah.
for the as far as communication. So, um, like you said, that's not something that men typically, I won't say come equipped with, but that's not sometimes just on the top of the list, right? Like, let me communicate effectively. We're doers sometimes, we're fixers.
Yeah.
So how would you deal with a situation, or how long would you give a situation to someone who does not know how to communicate effectively, but they want to get better, they want to try, it's not happening, because we know what that looks like: shutting down, sometimes getting upset, because they just can't communicate effectively, or not saying anything at all, right?
Right.
How would you deal with that with somebody that you, and romantically, and or professionally?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. So I always see it as like there are invisible parts of the relationship, right? And the invisible aspect I call is the emotional labor, right? And who's supposed to like shoulder that burden of the emotional labor of the relationship, right? I
Mm-hmm.
have like certain baggage or emotions that I'm carrying. You have certain baggage or emotions that you're carrying, right? But if we're trying to work out in a relationship as one, it has to kind of be a shared thing. But if there are certain things that you're holding on to, like I said, that you're not sharing with me, I can only do so much to pull it out of you, right? I'm going to do what I can to try to cultivate uh, an atmosphere or a tone that makes you comfortable to share things with me so we can work through them. But at the end of the day, that's your responsibility. You know what I mean? Your healing, your emotional wellness, that's your responsibility just as well as mine is for me. That's my responsibility. And I'm not going to put that on you. Now, if you're like, hey, I want to help you, I can see some areas because there are some blind spots, right? Like you'll be with a partner. I'm like, this person might not even know that he does this, but let me let you know. And that's why I think I be giving myself in a little
Well,
trouble.
you see how you put the little finger out. You can't let everybody know it's like that. You know,
I'm learning that. I'm learning that.
put your
I'm,
little
Yep.
finger away, and
I'm learning
you
that,
got to
you
present
know?
that question a little different, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I'm learning that. Like, and that's what I'd be like, it's so hard for me though, because like
I
I've
can
just
see
been
that.
trained.
I can see
I've
you
been
with the
trained.
finger. I
I
bet
have
you
a
that thing
trained
come out
eye.
quick.
That's
I
big
have a
what you
trained eye.
said.
It's hard, y'all. Pray for
Yeah.
me. No,
No, that's
so I'm
big what
getting
you
my
said.
master's in clinical mental health counseling. So, you know,
Ooh.
So hold on. As
Okay.
with that
Okay.
background,
Yep.
and this is just because I've dated somebody who was a counselor.
mhm.
Um,
Mm.
in my personal experiences, I felt like they would overanalyze situations because of
Hmm.
all these books that they have read. And as opposed to allowing things to
Mm.
break down naturally or just through conversation,
Yeah.
before we could get through a conversation, she didn't analyze three,
Mhm.
4 words that I done said, broke those down to what those could possibly mean. And now she's telling me what I was gonna say, and I ain't said nothing yet, but I
But
done
brothers
started a
hate that.
sentence.
Brothers do not
Do you,
like that.
do you feel like you do that? I'm no cap. I'm
You
just
know, I used to do that a lot, but now I really, this is my motto now. I respect everybody's journey, right? And I feel like
Mm.
I can't do the work for you. I've had to learn this the hard way. I cannot do the journey for you. I'm taking away your life experiences. I'm robbing you of your character development, and I can't do that anymore. I've kind of
yeah.
stepped back from that, so I don't do it as much as I used to because
Wow.
I've learned, like, even people with their consequences, I'm like, hey, I'm seeing you go down a really bad path.
Right.
And I don't want you to go down that path. And I know what the end result is going to be. And I keep trying to, like, hey, don't do that. Hey, don't do that. But
You
at the end
can't
of the day,
save
everybody's
everybody.
an adult. I can't
Can't
save
save
everybody. Exactly. Like, you have to go through that pain and those consequences for that lesson that you have to learn. I don't want to rob you of that, your life journey. So I say, I respect everybody's life journey. And I can't be everything to everybody. So I just be like,
That's how I
We should
feel
do,
when it
we
comes
should
to
do that.
fitness and
Do
like telling
that.
people about
We
working
have done
out
that
and
I
before.
did not say nothing. I'm gonna sit here. I might be holding my tongue. I'm just not
Listen,
gonna
when you
say
see
anything.
that,
if they don't ask you for the information, don't be
Right.
volunteering shit.
Yeah. That's why I just be like, okay,
yeah,
all
yeah.
right. But I could only hold my tongue for so long. I'm kidding.
No,
No, it's
I
all
can,
love. It's really all love. Really.
yeah, I can tell just through your response that you've matured over some things because you're saying, look, yeah, I'm taking accountability. I
Yeah.
used to do that, right?
Right.
But now, and I think that's important because one thing you said too is a lot of people don't know that they're doing what they're doing.
Hmm.
And they have to trust you enough because we don't like to ever sign, really to just to listen about the flaws about us. We don't never like to hear, hey, when I'm talking, you finish what I'm saying, and that's not even what
No,
I'm
I
about
don't.
to say. No, I
I don't do
don't.
that.
That's what you're about to say. It's not what I was about to say. Right? You like you talk about, dating a counselor, it's just some things that they do. And you're in that habit so long because before you met me, you was you for your whole life. So that's why it's important for me to be around people that I trust. Because like if Terrence says, yo, D, hey bro, I just want to tell you this, man. I observed this about you. Nah, bro, nah. What, man? Nah, what you talking about, man? That mean I don't trust him enough to listen. Right now, it don't mean that he's right or wrong, but I got an open ear to somebody that I trust. And when we talk about relationships, I think a lot of people are with people that they love and they don't like. You know, you need that friendship because your friend can tell you, babe, you do this. And you say, really, I do?
Cheryl was saying that it's difficult to hear when you're hearing it from somebody else, you know. And
We're not gonna fix ourselves sometimes, though.
I think especially when it's somebody who you don't have any emotional attachment to, that shit could just roll off of you. But I think when it's people where you actually value their opinions, right? And it's not that you necessarily believe what they're saying is true. It's just that you value their opinion, and because they think or they feel that way, it affects you emotionally. And
Mhm.
that's giving people a lot of power sometimes, and sometimes that they don't deserve to have that much power and influence over your emotional state. But I think that's kind of a two-way state in that I give you that power. You can't just take that power. So at some
Right.
point in our relationship, I've given you the power to affect me emotionally. And over the years, I've learned how to turn that on and off. Even especially more so in business, right?
Right.
Dealing with people when your money and your time, and learning how to take that and not take it personal. Like, I see
Yeah.
you,
That's
but
big.
I ain't gonna take
Yeah.
that personal.
Right. Right. No, that's big because I've seen a lot of situations where sometimes we're giving the power to the wrong people and we're not giving it to the people that actually deserve it. So if you listen to your boys or your co-workers, but your wife or your significant other is telling you something, nah, babe, nah, but you brushing it off, right? And she notices that, or he notices that, but you're listening to everybody else, right? You're taking that criticism and you don't know if it's constructive or not. But that's why it's important to know who really loves you, looks out for you, who's really in your circle looking out for your back. Because if you tell me something, I'm gonna take heed to it, and I'm not gonna listen to somebody else that I gave them way too much, power and trust, and they didn't even deserve it. You know, for
But
me,
I think people do that when you have a kind heart and you
mhm,
usually do things out of love, and that's your character. 9 times out of 10, you give people the benefit of the doubt unless they show you otherwise, right?
right,
So
right,
unless you give me a reason not to trust you,
mm-hmm,
oh, but
goes up a little
yeah,
bit
I
then.
don't know. I feel like it's a roll of the dice. Whether it's love, whether it's your job, there's no guarantees on that. You don't get insurance on relationships and love. It's a roll of the
Mm-hmm,
craps. And if you want to participate in trying to find love, you're gonna have to roll
mm-hmm.
that dice.
Right.
So,
Man,
and the
I ain't
same thing
rolling no
with your
more dice
jobs.
right
If you want a
now.
good job, you're gonna have to test.
you got to roll that dice.
A few things out, and I don't know where to run it. Know that guy's gonna put you where you need to be.
Right, right. I think it all starts with yourself. It all starts with you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the
Well,
better
and
and the
that man
stronger.
up there,
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, without him and just yourself, you doing bad. I don't care how good you think you're doing. You need him. Because like you said in the beginning, a lot of times we leave God out of the equation and we keep trying to put ourselves around people and in positions and it don't align. And he not going to, give you your blessing. And I think that's something to take from today's talk. aligning yourself in the positions around people that you trust, love you, want the best for you, and not trying to take something from you. You know what I'm saying? And genuinely want you to win. Who around you genuinely wants you to win, even when they get nothing out of it? You know, and I think for anybody that's watching or listening, and even us, you know, when we log off the day, we think about all who those people are in our circles.
Yeah, appreciate and gravitate towards the people who genuinely love seeing you win. And you know who those people are. And those are the
Yeah.
people that even if you don't talk to them for a long, long time, they're
Mm-hmm.
always 100% genuine. They
Mm-hmm.
they and it's in their tone and their conversation. And you can tell who's really coming from a place of love. And man, I appreciate I see you. And especially with guys, I feel like we don't do it quite as much as the women do. Um,
Right.
when it's
Right.
just to show an appreciation. Bro, I seen you shining the other day. I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
and and Damian as my brother, I be seeing you shining, and Chrissy as my sister, I be seeing you shining, and I'm proud of y'all. And
Yeah.
and if ain't nobody
Likewise.
told y'all that,
Love that.
See.
yeah.
Likewise. Maybe what? Let me see. Yeah. Okay.
But real talk, and
All hearts.
that's the type of folks I want
Yeah.
to win with. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
Right.
saying?
Right.
And there's never a time that I'm not gonna speak highly of you. There ain't
Yeah.
never a time that I would allow somebody not to respect you. Not in front of
Mm.
me.
Yep.
That's what real loyalty
Not in
and
front of
friendship.
me.
Literally. Same thing I was gonna say. That's loyalty right there. That's locked
She
in.
doing it. She doing it.
Yeah,
And Terrence, let me, Chrissy, you know, Terrence, the reason why that's so important is because a lot of us out here, especially black and brown, you know, our own families sometimes
a lot of
was not
time.
supporting us, not believing in us, doubting us. You know, I've learned this very early on. Sometimes your biggest fan and your biggest supporter is gonna be a stranger. I've man, that's been in my heart so long. And when I was younger, it really it affected me. Like how
Yeah,
come, you know, how come my family and the people closest to me not seeing it? But then I understood it. So when Terrence, you or Chrissy, you know, when we turn up for each other, you never know when somebody needed that. Like you said in the beginning, Terrence, sometimes people look at us and it's like, no matter, you know, any one of us, oh, she doing good. She up there, you know, at the Super Bowl, right, doing her thing. But you don't know who has told her, Queen, I see you.
Mhm.
Terrence might have said that, but maybe brother, sister, mom and dad didn't, you know, significant other didn't say it. And sometimes that extra push is, man, it pushes somebody to fly, or you can push somebody off a cliff because, you know, which person are you?
yeah. I mean, we all need to, help being grounded sometimes. I think
Yep.
we all have so many distractions and so much going on and lack of
Yeah.
sleep and
Man,
bills,
man,
health, and damn,
bills,
should I
bills.
work out this month? And you
Right.
know, but I need a vacation because I'm stressed out. You know what I'm saying?
But
And
I
it's a
got a
lot.
lot of work to do.
Yeah. So, self
Yeah.
care is surrounding yourself with the right people.
Mm,
Along
mm,
along with treating yourself the way you're supposed to treat yourself, make sure
mm,
that you're surrounding yourself with the right people because that's also self care.
mm. Yeah, that's everything. A lot of people are treating people the way that they are because that's how they treat themselves. You know, sometimes when I see people hurting other people, I don't, my first emotion isn't to get upset. I look at that person. I've seen people do it and I've called them and talked to them and I can hear the aggression, but I hear the hurt. So man, let me pray for you real quick. Pray for you. You got some stuff going on. Hurt people hurt people. Healed people heal people. That is what it is. So that's another thing to take away for, I think, anybody listening or watching. Like, the first emotion shouldn't be to get upset and angry at people, because a lot of us got some unhealed wounds, and you'll be so amazed how one thing transcends to the other. You go to work, but you just came home from your broken relationship. You brought that to work. That's why your leadership is broken, right? You got a great relationship at home, a great man or woman, but you just left a broken work atmosphere. So now you bringing that home, right? So I think it's so important to really, if you care about somebody, dig a little bit through the layers, and spend that time out. Man, if I see you, Terrence or Chrissy, just down or being different, or even if you did me wrong some kind of way, communicate. I'm a communicator. Chrissy, you good? I just want to know, because yesterday you did that thing. You put that finger in my face. And listen, I'm already learning from Chrissy. When she pulled that finger, she hit you with that. It's a problem, right? So, but I'm gonna pick up the phone and talk to you and communicate, because another bad habit that we have in our culture is harvesting things,
Man.
and then we want to lash out at the wrong moment about something that you did 2 months ago, and we could have been talked about that and hashed that out.
And sometimes you just gotta let it go. Sometimes you're not able to have a conversation with that person, right? Sometimes that person don't deserve your conversation, but you still gotta let it go.
That take a
You
big
still gotta
person.
let it go. And a lot of times we want closure. We want that person to know how we feel, and I need them to get it.
I need them
want
to
them
get it. Yeah.
Don't worry about that shit.
That's important.
It's at the end of the day, whether or
Yeah.
not you can get somebody to understand you or have empathy with you,
Yeah.
that person's gonna do whatever they want to do with the information that you give them.
Right.
All you can do is control what you can control, which is what? Yourself. Just that. That's the only thing you got control over. Not the speed in which they react or how they react, or if they're gonna give you a hug and tell you that they understand, or if they're just gonna walk off and not even respond. You don't got nothing on it. And the best thing you can do is learn to not let those person's actions affect you to the point that you will stress yourself out. It's okay to feel a certain way, but also know what that boundary is, and like, okay, I can feel some type of way, but I'm not gonna get angry and stress myself out and take it out on the kids, right? So feel some way, but now let's figure out how we gonna deal with it so that it's not affecting everything else, whether it's our job or the kids or our money. So and a lot of times we'll let those people affect our attitude and mess up our blessings.
Yeah. Too many people are allowing others to steal their joy. And I'm talking about people through the drive-through, people just in traffic. They stole your joy for the rest of the day. So now you
Houston
got a
road
bad
rage.
Houston road rage. So now your girl called, what's wrong with you? It's so much emotional self-discipline that's needed. But I think it takes more talks like this, because people need to hear this. One of my boys just told me this yesterday. I ain't talked to him for a while. He actually hit me up about a movie role, Terrence. I'm a connect you with that too. But man, he told me he was so stressed out. His anxiety levels were through the roof, because one of his main things was whatever he was dealing with, letting people know that he was not the one to be effed with. So we had to have that last word. Like, that was his mentality. Like, he had to make sure that you knew, right, that you ain't get the upper hand. And when you walk around with so much of that armor on, it's heavy, it's stressful.
And you're
Your
using a
anxiety,
whole bunch of energy.
a
A
whole
lot of
bunch of
energy you wasting
man,
to
man.
try to get to people and make points. And
Mm-hmm.
I used to be that. Now,
Hmm.
if I see something, I still point it out. There's never a point in time where I feel like I can't speak my mind. There's a time
Mm-hmm.
and a place for everything, but I'm not gonna hold my tongue because of somebody's feelings or because of their opinion or their feelings might be hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a you have tact and there's a way that you speak to people.
Right.
But I'm gonna
That,
be real honest. And if you ask me, be sure you want that honest answer, and vice versa. I
mhm.
promise you, if I ask you, you don't have to worry about hurting my feelings. I want you to be honest, and I much rather you hurt my feelings
Mhm.
than try to not hurt my feelings and lie to my
Yeah.
face,
Right.
or
Right.
not tell me the whole truth, or tell me it, but that's not what you really meant. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So you
You got to
know,
tell me if my
people
mixtape
gonna
was
feel
hot.
how they feel regardless. Let them feel how they feel.
Right. Right.
Give them the opportunity and the choice to feel how they want. They
Yeah.
might surprise you. They might not feel or respond the way that you think they might respond. So
Right. Right. Man, look, we need to pull up at Chrissy's spot. All right. Get on
send
the
the invite.
microphone. You feel me? She got to send an invite. Get on the microphone and talk about, some topics just like this. But we gonna put it in the poetic form, so we can get the
As we do,
snaps.
as we do.
Right.
So we,
I'm
we can get
here
the
snapping for
snaps.
y'all.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna write a piece called
Oh man.
"Communicate with Me."
Ooh, I
Okay,
like it.
okay.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, yeah. Communicate with me. Yeah. No, just remember I said it. I said it
Yeah.
live right here on the
Right. We're
black
throwing ideas out
stage.
there.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I might even you talk about
yeah,
communicate with me. I'm gonna call
yeah.
mine Don't Walk Away.
Ooh, yeah. Man, this is
Okay.
like a Royal Kings night.
Right.
Yeah.
Got some
Listen,
exclusives
what's
tonight.
what's what, what's the name of the spot again? Like, what's the name of it?
Soul sessions.
Soul Set. Ooh,
Yeah, soul
Soul
I
sessions.
like
Session.
it.
Sounds deep. Sounds deep.
Yeah.
Man,
But
I'm ready. Let us know
yeah,
when the next.
we're gonna have to do this again. I enjoyed this.
Yeah,
Uh
yeah, most
so
definitely.
yeah, most
Most definitely.
definitely. Um damn, I know there was something else. I don't know.
It's so much.
It'll come to me after I log off.
As soon
Right.
as we
I
log
was like,
off,
hey, I wanted to say that.
he'll
Yeah.
call us back. Hey, y'all, get hot back on real.
10 more minutes.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Well, Terrence, I mean, I've seen many of your episodes. I will say today, Chrissy was a great addition because just having brothers and sisters talking, you really don't see too much of it, right?
Right.
We're normally trying to figure things out amongst ourselves. The men are with the men talking about the women, and the women are with the women talking about the men, right? So
And don't
anytime
neither one of us know what we talking about.
we don't know what we talking about. So I most definitely enjoy this show, and she was a great addition, man. So great job.
Yeah.
Well,
Likewise.
I appreciate y'all coming and spending some time and chopping it up. And whenever I
Yeah.
see y'all, I always enjoy y'all's company. So I already know what it was gonna be like. So
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
you know, oh yeah, uh, tomorrow we'll be dropping the podcast with Wayne Moody, the minister of manifestation.
Yeah.
Um, Claim Your Impossible Dreams. So definitely y'all check that out on the Black Exchange YouTube. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe, leave some comments.
Mhm.
Damian, Chrissy, well, Chrissy ladies first. Let them know real quick where they can find you before we get out of here.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. It's at What's Chrissy Doing. And yeah, Friday we have soul sessions, and then Saturday we have table for two ish. So Follow me. I follow back.
You heard it. Mr.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Valentine, where can they find you?
Yes, sir. All right. Go to Tubi. No, I'm messing with you. All right. So you can follow me on Instagram at Platinum Beard Valentine. You can go to www.iamdvalentine and you'll find information about my mentoring organization and my kids book and a lot of other great things I got going on. Also, be sure to follow Royal Kings HTX on Instagram. My brother Terrence Wright, we're out here doing some big things in the community. And again, it's not just for young men. We're working with young ladies and also uplifting extraordinary women like Chrissy in the community. So, man, thank y'all for tuning in. It was a blessing.
Yes, definitely. And for all the viewers, definitely appreciate y'all tapping in. Make sure y'all hit the follow button for Chrissy, Damian, and we'll see you next time. We appreciate y'all tuning in. The Black Exchange.
Thank you.
Peace.